Hello, my name is Mackenzie Blackerby, and today I am here to talk to you about how we can improve the mental health resources up at Texas Tech. So we all know that, being college students, some days everything can just be overwhelming, and our mental health is something that is super important, and I just don't feel like it's something that's talked about enough or something that is spread enough for everyone to have those resources to go to when they need help mentally. For someone who definitely deals with very high anxiety and depression occasionally, I definitely do wish that the resources for anything like that was more available. So I do feel like this is something personal that I wish could happen and be there for everyone. Each year, thousands of college students suffer in college. Either they're overwhelmed by anxiety, stress, depression, any of those factors. It could be anything else. And at Texas Tech, some students wait at least weeks before they go to any kind of counseling appointment, or if they even go to one at all. If anybody's like me, it is very hard to make yourself want to go to a counseling session, because talking about your emotions is just definitely not easy, nor is it easy to do with somebody that you're not very familiar with in the first place. As students ourselves, mental health affects our ability to perform academically, build relationships, and feel safe on campus. This problem impacts us all directly or indirectly. Definitely when I moved onto campus my very first year, it took a long time to feel safe in my dorm room, or kind of just with the people are around. And same thing in classrooms. Like, you go to high school and you get completely used to the people that you're with because you've been with them for years, and then you get to a college classroom and you know no one. So it's definitely hard for sure. So as students who has seen friends struggle and who has researched this issue extensively, I am passionate about ensuring that we all should have the support we need. Texas Tech University, absolutely, they just must increase the funding and the accessibility for its on-campus mental health resources to be able to meet growing student demand and improve academic and personal outcomes. I don't think it's something that is talked about enough, of how a lot of it has to do with your mental health, with how you do in your school. Some days you are just completely depressed and don't have that great mindset to the point where you can't even do your schoolwork. It may not even be just that day. It could be weeks, it could be months, and all of a sudden midterms are coming up and final exams are coming up and you're kind of just stuck. But anyways, first I will explain the scope of the mental health crisis affecting students at Texas Tech. Then I'll begin to identify what's causing the current resource gap. Finally, I'll offer a realistic and impactful solution. So kind of to start off with, one of the main problems is a growing mental health crisis. Mental health is an issue among college students are at record heights, meaning there's just an insane amount of students who deal with a really high mental health things, and again, maybe all of them might not go receive help. So according to the American College Health Association, over 60% of students reported experiencing overwhelming anxiety, and nearly half felt depressed. It was so hard for them to function. Again, depression, and that it doesn't mean that it's hard to function just in school. It's hard to function at work and your normal life, your day-to-day life. So it is something that is very challenging. And I don't feel like Texas Tech is not immune to this crisis. The Texas Tech University Counseling Center reported a 35% increase in service demand between 2019 and 2023. I feel like a lot of it had to do with, all that sickness and the COVID year and everything like that. And I graduated in 2023, and so I understand how impactful that was and how hard it can be. Students often wait up to at least 3 weeks for initial consultation. If you're anything like me, it's 3 weeks plus. There's just some that can't talk about their emotions, and that's okay sometimes. But the lack of time access can have serious consequences. For instance, like I had said, those who don't go and reach out to receive help can have those issues where depression is overwhelming them to where we're not passing. So we're having academic failure, or there's isolation from friends, family, groups, and even suicide are potential outcomes, which, when it helps, delayed, or when it's unavailable. And there is that crisis center, but not everybody is very aware of that. But I think it's something that's important, that within the university, it should be something that is always there. So why is this happening at a university that prides itself on supporting student success? So here's a little bit for why these resources are falling a bit short. Texas Tech calculates fewer mental health counselors per student than the national average. The recommended ratio is 1 counselor per 1,500 students. Texas Tech University is close to 1 in 3,000. So you have a counselor who is seeing double that many, and so it's not like they're allowing them to get the full amount of help that somebody should receive. Budget reports show less than 1.5% of students' service fees go towards mental health. Many students don't seek help because perceived stigma or don't know what services are available. Again, it's not something that's advertised very well here at Texas Tech University for students to go grasp help. And of course, there's a reliance on in-person appointments-based therapy. Alternative supports like counseling, workshop, and telehealth are underused or unavailable. Some kiddos just don't want to go in and have that in-person thing. So what can we do about it? So the solution, a path to improve mental health support. Hire 5 new licensed counselors and at least 1 psychiatric, and have a nurse practitioner. Fund this through a proposed $5 students per semester wellness fee, which would generate approximately $150,000 annually based on the current enrollment. That is plenty to continue to keep allowing these people to be here and allowing their students to get everything that they need, the resources that they need. We could also conduct monthly workshops, mental health awareness campaigns, and partner with student organizations to normalize seeking help. We all know that there's some really big organizations out there, and I know that if they were to promote that, the mental health things could be very much, spread out and more aware. And Texas Tech University could create a wellness app to allow students to schedule appointments, that access meditation guides, join support groups, and use anonymous chat support. Similar programs at the University of Texas Tech led to shorter wait times and increased service satisfaction. The plan is simple, effective, affordable, and all that's missing is the commitment to make an act. Mental health challenges are affecting thousands of students at Texas Tech. The counseling center is overwhelmed, and many students aren't getting the help they need. With the modest investments in staffing, outreach, digital tools, we can create healthier and more supportive campus. So as a whole, let's create this act and extend out and show how much mental health is important, not just for school, not just for work, but for every day-to-day life. Allow you to be the change.